Okay, welcome to our Penny Stock Billionaires for Thursday, September 23rd. We got a special breaking news. We got action in a couple of our stocks. Let's start off with ESE Entertainment. ENTEF is the symbol. That is what you see up on the screen right now, the chart. So this is the breakout that we have been talking about for the last over almost 2 months now, probably 6-7 weeks. This line you see on the chart, this red line. Those of you watching these live streams for the last, I don't know, eight weeks or so, you're familiar with that line that's been there. It hasn't really moved, and that was the support and resistance line. And I said, hey, once it breaks out of this, it is game on. And what you see happening right now is two things. One is you got that resistance line. At the same time, ESE has broken the 50-day moving average to the upside. I'm assuming we're going to close probably in this range right now. So, or, it's not going to close below it, I don't think. And again, as you can see, this moving average, a very good technical indicator. The last time it broke above the moving average, or I should say the first time it broke above it, was back in November 26th. The stock was 25 cents. And as you can see, it went to over $4.20. And we introduced what, at 30 cents, I believe it was, ESE back then. So it went above the moving average. And as you can see, when it crossed below the moving average, the stock dropped, right? It broke below the moving average. And today is actually, well, actually, no, there was a fake out close back here in April. One time it closed above it. And since then, it hasn't been above it. So this is a very strong buy indicator. I think this is a very valid signal. Obviously, you're going to want to see a couple of closes. Those of you who are more conservative probably would want to see a couple of more closes above this moving average. Probably, I would say $1.25 is going to be, if you want to see a couple of consistent closes above $1.25, that's going to be really the, kind of the all clear signal. That'll tell you, okay, it's a done deal. Next catalyst for ESE, a great question, Jeff. Well, first of all, let me just say this. So, again, I don't want, with these live streams, again, this is not the official company information. Let me just run a disclaimer real quick, very important. Nothing here is a recommendation to buy or sell securities. Obviously, we're very biased, and we're talking about clients of Wall Street Reporter. All the disclaimers are in the links below. This is considered paid content, or it could be considered, although what I'm doing now is really opinion, so I give opinions both ways on these things, but technically they're a client. But this is not really paid content. I know it's a weird gray line, but think of it this way. Anything we say, take with a grain of salt. Technically, it should be biased. So with that said, also make sure you click the like and subscribe button. So let me go back to what you were saying. What are the next catalysts? So first of all, let me talk about today's news. I think today's news is actually a pretty good catalyst to kick things off. By the way, we're going to have Conrad. He's going to be on tomorrow. Please ask me your questions. The live stream tomorrow, 12:30. We're going to have AIML, another one of our movers, and ESE. So here's what's important. They just came out with their quarterly results. 4.23 million for 3 months ending July 30th, right? So that was 4.2. So that would give them technically a $16 million run rate. And by the way, this is not including the current acquisition. So this is back in July. This does not include Digital Motorsports acquisition. So with Digital Motorsports, they should be 20 million plus, maybe higher. But okay, so what's the takeaway? Again, 4 million for the quarter, which is like 5 times what, I think it's 5 times what the number was for the last quarter, right? It's forget, you can't even compare what the previous numbers were because they were not really relevant. Look, ESE had like minimal revenues when they joined our live stream, and Conrad said, "Hey, look, my goal is to get you $100 million run rate by the end of December. 12 months from now." He said that I think in February it was already, but he mentioned it back in December when he joined, and he's on track, right? The guy is delivering. I mean, this is very rare in the microcap world. People actually delivering what they say they're going to do. You can see the number. These are real numbers. This is not, numbers are coming in now. So again, they had very little revenues. Now they're at a $20 million run rate with a new deal. The guy is delivering. Everything he said is coming true, right? So the inflection point, the next catalyst. Oh, by the way, so also there was a loss, right? So the loss narrowed by half, basically. So the loss for the quarter was $1.2 million versus $3.8 million. Massive improvement. So they're rapidly approaching break-even profitability, probably in the next 1 or 2 quarters. And I'm sure if they close a couple of deals, it'll be very exciting. So I believe the next catalyst, what's going to move the stock, is probably what you really want to know. Is I would say, so they just closed Digital Motorsports. I would say the next deal that they close, if they announce another deal, I think that is going to be sort of a catalyst. It's going to be an inflection point, really, where people are kind of going to sit up and pay attention. Like the stock got way ahead of itself back in February. It ran from 30 cents to $4. Yeah, it's a big move, 30 cents to $4. So it got a little bit ahead of itself. And now that they're actually delivering what they say they're going to do, it's always, the market is always buy rumor, sell the news, right? So now they're delivering. I think once they announce this new deal, people are going to say, okay, no, you know what? This guy is legit. He said he would do 100 million run rate by 2020, where that's the goal. He's getting close, right? He's at 20. He started with basically nothing. He's at 20. Maybe they'll get up to 50 million. I don't know if they're going to do 100. Again, I've said I don't know. It's a big, it's an ambitious goal. You never know, right? But it's good. It's always good to have big goals, right? I think they could probably, get to some deals that might get to 40, 50 million, right? So even if they do that, this thing is going to be back at $4 like very, very easily, I believe. I think what's there, let me just pull something up here. I think, what is it they have right now? Let's call it $80 million market cap. So, they're trading at 4 times forward earnings. They're trading at 4 times earnings right now. Basically, forward earnings. So it's still very, very cheap compared to their peers. Again, the esports, digital entertainment, I mean, these are 10 times, these categories are trading at 10x revenues, right? Those are the multiples. So again, if these guys get to 50 million run rate, they're going to be trading at 500 million. I think they're going to be trading higher than 500 because, again, the market is going to get ahead of itself. Just like what you saw happen last February, it's going to happen again. It always happens with all these stocks, right? So what you got to do is you got to get in early, and you got to get out once these things get way crazy and ahead of themselves, like, certain stocks. I'm not going to name any names, but, certain stocks get ahead of themselves, right? So ESE right now is back in undervalued territory. At $4, it was overvalued in February. Now it's undervalued. And I think we're going to be back at $4, possibly much higher, So let's look at this chart right now. Whoa, we are at $1.20, $1.20. This thing is on the run. So it's a high conviction close right now. The stock is up 20% on the day. I think people are waking up to this. And by the way, the MACD line is about to cross over. So all the technical indicators are about to go green. All the technical indicators for ESE are about to go green. And again, look at this chart. This is very similar to the situation we had with many of our stocks. Like, I can name a bunch of Peak Fintech, PKK, look what that chart looked like. You had that major long holding pattern for up until a few months ago, last month, right? You had a 6-month holding pattern. And I told you, once it broke out of that holding pattern, it would at least double, and it did. I believe the same thing is going to happen with the ESE. Once it breaks out of this base, it's going to at least double, at least minimum. So I think this is going to be at least a 250. $2.50 is the next technical target. But realistically, I think we have a very strong shot at going back to $4 by December. That is what's going on with ESE. So let me jump to see if there's any questions here, comments. Sorry, I just checking out. Okay, so I answered that, right? Next catalyst, again, for ESE, I believe the next thing to move the stock is going to be any type of LOI, because again, at that point, ESE is going to establish a pattern, which is, growing through acquisitions. Just like, listen, EGLX, one of the hottest stocks in Canada last year, was in the esports space. Same exact business model. They did a roll-up. EGLX was a roll-up of, esports YouTube channels, basically, right? I mean, these guys have a real business here. ESE has a real business compared to that. Let me just get, hey, thank you for joining. I don't think we've seen you before on our channel, so thank you for joining. Yeah, Raya, I'm going to pull up the Raya chart. Again, I think that is going to be one of our next 10 baggers. We get this is, we've had already 7 plus in the last 18 months. I'm looking for a few more before the year is out. Let's see, plenty of space to which, I'm not sure which company you're talking about, ESE or which one? Yes, I think we're looking at 250 in the next 30 days. I don't want to say beyond that because it could, I think we're looking at $4 before the year is out. But really, you have a very easy, clear path to 250. I mean, if you look at this beautiful base, I mean, it's like, I don't want to say textbook, but because there's never two things are exactly the same. The history never repeats, but it rhymes. And the base, okay, so you got really two things you could be looking at. You could look at the base, which is from April, let's call it from April till now, but really, it's from December. So you have this massive base. Really, I mean, you could look at that because that's kind of where that trend line, that horizontal trend line, that is your real base. So now and again, once these things, it's like a trampoline. What's the metaphor I use? The cat jumping, the cats, when they jump onto tops of refrigerators, the cat first jumps onto the kitchen counter, right? Then from the kitchen counter, they catapult, they leverage off that, and then they jump onto the refrigerator, top of the refrigerator or something, right? That's what the cats do. Same thing with these stocks. It's like a catapult. It bounces off these different levels. But when you have this big trampoline base, so it's going to bounce from here. And you could easily see $2.50, $3 plus. So, and again, your downside here, and again, very limited, especially if you're coming into the stock right now. The downside here is, let's call it, what was the bottom of the base was 99 cents. This is the Canadian, right? So 99 cents Canadian is the bottom of the base. So, well, okay, so, oh shit, the stock is $1.25 right now. So in theory, you're risking 25 cents to make 250 to make 225, 10 to 1. Asymmetric. It's an asymmetric gain. Your risk, 25 cents, upside, short-term upside, 225, potentially $4. So that would be 275, right? Did I do my math? I'm not sure if I'm doing my math right. It's a little late in the day for me. No, yeah. So 20 cents, what did they say? 25 cents downside. Upside, if it goes to 250, is $1.25. So it's 6 to 1, 5 to 1, 6 to 1. Still very good. And realistically, I think it could be $4. I really don't think it's going to pull back at this point. I mean, if you look at it right now, it's in full momentum mode. Full momentum mode. I don't see it coming back. Okay, so ESE is not like Fans. It's people. Fans is a betting company. Fans is pure play sports betting, esports betting, iGaming, gambling. ESE does not have any gambling business, and they are in the esports business only. They're sticking to esports, so they're not doing anything with online, betting on horse races, any of that stuff, betting on the Mets, whatever, any of that, none of that. Purely esports. So the other ones, I don't know those other companies. I'm not sure the other ones. GameSquare. I think ESE is kind of a little more ahead of most companies in the esports sector that are kind of on the CSE, because these guys now are on track to 20 million run rate. They're going to be doing 100 million, right? Again, whatever CEOs say, I always discount it by 50%. So if the guy's telling me 100 million, let's just say it's 50 million. And 50 million, I think, is achievable. So if they get to 50 million, that's your 10-bagger again. Okay, so ESE, very exciting, $1.27. We're making new highs. Let's take a look at a couple of other big movers right now. AIML, we're going to have on the live stream tomorrow. And yeah, I told you it's a very interesting chart yesterday. I mean, the way this pattern is, I mean, it kind of open up, drop lower, closes up at the peak. This thing is in bull mode. AIML is definitely on the move. And okay, now this trend line is, I don't know, this is not real. That's from somewhere else. So that's not, ignore what you said, that's not related to the stock. Okay, so AIML, what you want to watch for right now is a breakout above. You got two key levels. You got a level coming up here at around 70, well, actually, we're kind of there, 80 cents. This is kind of 78 cents. I'll just say the next level really is 90 cents. The stock's got to break 90 cents. That is really your key level, 90 cents. I'll even say, no, I'll say 85 cents. I'll say 85 cents is going to be, you're going to want to have your finger on the button at 85 cents, because once it breaks 85, then you're going to have, it's going to start gaining, snowballing, gaining momentum. It's going to break out. So, and I think we could see an easy run to $1.50. Easy run to $1.50 short term, $2, $2.25 plus within a couple of months. Let's go back into one of our other stocks for today, Raya. Okay, so Raya, so we announced this the other day. Immediately it opened up from 11 cents previous close to 15 cents. Big volume we're seeing. You got the CEO on today. The stock, what do we hit 16 cents? No, 15 and a half. And now we got a bit of a pullback. I think probably people, buy the rumor, sell the news. We kind of see this happen a lot. The stocks kind of start running and then they pull back once we announce the new stock, and then they kind of start moving up from there. So this is a pretty typical behavior, which is one of the reasons I tell you, look, don't chase these stocks. Don't chase them. You're going to have an opportunity to get in. Right now, this is not like the market, which was back in last December, January. Now, you have an opportunity to jump on board. So you can, don't just put in, market orders. You have an opportunity. So you can accumulate the stock and pick it up, whatever. It's not going to just double overnight. I don't think we're going to see stocks doubling overnight for quite a while. But I do see Raya, RYAHF, over the counter as potentially our next 10-bagger. Check out the video that you saw. Check out the video on YouTube, which is the CEO presentation. If you haven't seen it yet, the CEO lays out all the fundamentals and the path for this to be a $2 potentially stock, $1.50, $2. So again, here's what I do have to say, very important. This stock comes with great provenance, because this comes to us from the same exact source that brought us PKK, Peak Fintech, which was a 20 bagger. So potentially, this again, this comes from a good source. So I think, this could be at least a 10 bagger. Let's see what else is going on. What else is moving right now as we come into the close? Let me pull up Visby. By the way, our YouTube videos on Visby are getting a massive amount of views. I think one of them is up to like 20,000. The live stream one from like 3 weeks ago, 20,000 views for our channel is a lot. And even the last one, the edited one, has like over 7,000. And I'm looking at the analytics. So the YouTube engine they're being recommended now for whatever reason. So what does that tell me is that something is happening with Visby. So it's good sentiment. Something is happening. There's a good algorithm thing happening. And I think we're going to see a move higher in Visby right now. So I think what we're doing is we're taking a bit of a break here, a little rest break before it makes the next move. Yes, it is below the moving average. I wouldn't pay too much attention to this short-term 50-day, not 50-day, 50 hours basically, because this is the long-term one. It's above. So I think we're going to coil here. Let me just draw you something just so you kind of see what I think is happening. We're building a pennant. It's kind of, you see this pennant right here? I think it's going to last probably for another couple of days, maybe into next week. And you're going to see it narrow and narrow and narrow, probably in that 80-cent range. And then you're going to see the stock break out of that narrow pennant, and it's going to go higher. You kind of saw that happening way back in December. If you see back in December, it was kind of narrowing and then it broke out. So I'd keep an eye on this for the next couple of days. You're probably going to see a big breakout above like 82, 83 cents. So keep an eye on that. So let's take a look at RHT. RHT again, nice little pullback here. We had a nice big run. Look, the stock broke out from 46 cents, $1.25. So it's almost a triple. So it's taking a rest. The stock needs to catch its breath. 1 hour chart, looking pretty good. I think we have a base here right now. I think we'll put out a Telegram thing. We've built a base here in this kind of 80-cent range, 82-cent range. Watch for a breakout above 89 cents, above this moving average. Actually, if you look at this moving average on Relic, it's actually been pretty accurate. So it's giving you some good short-term trading signals. Once the stock breaks above the moving average, currently at, let's just say 89 cents, it's going to be a very, very bullish. That's going to be back bull mode again. So things are looking good over there. What else are we looking at? We're looking at, so ESE, okay. We got Logic. Logic is, last couple of days, very interesting. It's kind of starting to gain momentum. They're pulling back. It's kind of, it can't decide if it should run or not. But I think we're definitely going to see a run again. My target on this is $14. It went from 350 to 14 last time. When we introduced it, I think it's going to happen again. So again, $14. AIML. The longer I look at this chart, the more bullish it looks. It's just, the problem with the AIML chart is there's really not enough data on it. As you can see, it's a very new chart. So you have these not enough data to really make a solid case. But you can basically see that it's you can see kind of your support resistance levels. So I just wish I had more data. You have some kind of gaps here, which, okay, let's see here. Okay, let's take a look at fans real quick. Fans, again, fans is doing what fans always does. It breaks out, then it kind of pulls back a little bit. It's a bit of a fake out. Everybody gives up, and then it starts moving again. I thought we had a great live stream with Darius yesterday. The stock now is bouncing off the support here, the moving average support, and I think it's going to hang out here a little bit, and then you're going to see a move. Again, fans, I think we're on track for $2, $3 plus. Going to be one of our big winners. And let's see. Okay, so Raya. Yeah, keep an eye on this Raya. We should probably see. I think what's going to happen is you got some people kind of, who bought yesterday, they flipped out today. You got all these degenerate day traders that they trade for a couple pennies. And that's probably what this volume is. A guy buys 100,000 shares or whatever, 1 million shares to make 4 cents. He's out of it, goes up back in. And I think what's going to happen is we're going to see a snapback in the next few days. I think we're going to see this over 20 cents shortly. Yeah, so the short-term chart is very bullish on Raya. Yeah, it's basically in, you can see this. Again, not a lot of data here, not a lot of data to work off. So, but you can see this thing is in bull mode. And once it breaks out of that 15-cent range, it seems to me that probably is the 15 cent. It's kind of like what we saw in TBP way back when it was 15 cents. Once it breaks out of that 15 cents, it's just going to run. It seems there's a lot of resistance here. So once it gets out of there, it could double very quickly, I think. Again, not investment advice, pure, oh, wow, look at this. So this is the 30-minute chart on ESE. You can see what's going on here. This thing is in bull mode. I am really looking forward to see what Conrad says tomorrow. So please, guys, join in. He's going to be coming on at 1 o'clock. We got 12:30 is AIML, and 1 o'clock is Conrad. We'll probably be running late. As usual, we will run late. So Conrad is going to be on probably at 1:10. But make sure you click at let's see here. Yeah, Jeff, I agree. Look, the guy laid out a very compelling case, and because I told him before we started the interview, I said, hey, listen, bottom line is, what our investor, what the audience wants to know is, they don't even care what you do. They just want to know what are the catalysts for this to be a 10-bagger, right? Like, what needs to happen? You gotta hit these what milestones do you need to achieve? What's, is it revenues? Is it valuation comps? So what needs to happen, right? And he pretty much laid it out. Coincidentally, I was talking to him earlier. We actually lived in the same building. I lived there 10 years. I lived in this building in 2001. He was living at very odd coincidence. Same building in Manhattan. Years later. Okay, so what is going on? I don't have any news from TBP. I don't know anything. I don't know what's going on. I think they're probably waiting for some clinical results. So no news yet. But back to the ESE story here. Back to the ESE. Again, 250 short-term target, $4 intermediate term. Let me go back to the short-term chart. Again, so Conrad is going to be on tomorrow. You have a very, very nice breakout here. This is the 30-minute chart. Let me look at the 1-hour chart. Again, very bullish. And I think once we break this $1.30, so it looks like, okay, you got some light resistance. You got a light resistance in the $1.30 range. So once it breaks out of this $1.30, I don't think it's a lot of resistance, but yeah, $1.30, your real next kind of resistance is probably going to be $1.50. You're going to have a decent amount of resistance, I would say. And so it's I think what's going to happen is the stock is going to hit $1.50, and it's going to spend a couple of days consolidating there, maybe a week or so. And then once it breaks out of $1.50, you know, it's probably going to go straight to $2.50. So the key level you really want to watch for is $1.50. That's going to be the next level of resistance. And, you know, you're going to probably spend a week of consolidation there. And then once it breaks $1.50, $2.50. Let's see what else is going on here in the markets. Interestingly, look, the Dow is back in rally mode. You know, you definitely should subscribe to our Telegram channel because, you know, a lot of times, you know, I make comments on our YouTube, you know, live streams, like on a Sunday night. I might say, hey, the markets look like they're crashing, right? And yeah, they crash the next day. But then, look, there's a reversal, a key reversal, right? So I'm not going to do a live stream because I'm not, you know, don't do anything with the Dow. But on our Telegram channel, I did put out an announcement, and Michael Mahendro said he was bullish on Bitcoin. I said Bitcoin was going down, and Michael Mahendro was right. And it's funny because I yesterday I put out a thing on Bitcoin. Let me pull up where is our Telegram? By the way, Telegram, click the link in the video description below to join our Telegram channel. So the Telegram, what did I say about what did I say about Bitcoin yesterday? Where is it? Yeah, so yesterday morning, I think, September 22nd, 8:29 a.m., Bitcoin was at, what was Bitcoin at? 42,117. 42,117, put out the chart saying, hey, this thing, Bitcoin looking bullish, short term at least, 2,000 upside next few days. But the overall chart, I think Bitcoin is still looking relatively negative. Let me pull up Bitcoin just to see right now. I'm not a Bitcoin fanatic. Here we go. So Bitcoin, 44,000. So it's up in the last 2 days. Again, it's also the Dow, by the way, is back in bull mode. It's I'm going to pull up the Dow chart. So I think we're back in you know, the good graces. The China contagion from Evergrande looks like is not going to have any effect. But as I did tell you, China will let Evergrande fail. They basically said they're going to let Evergrande and all those, they're going to let them fail. They're going to just let them clean the whole thing out. Apparently, the market doesn't care for now. But a few months from now, maybe a different case. Because I remember, what was it? I think when Bear Stearns was about to fail also. Yeah, the market shrugged it off. They shrugged off a couple of hedge funds failed first. They kind of had a knock-on effect. There were the Bear Stearns funds. They kind of shrugged it off, and then, okay. So, you know, it's not over yet. But, okay, so Bitcoin, you know what? I mean, it's right now. It's still, I would say, look, you're going to have, I think you could have a run to about 46,000 Bitcoin in a couple of days. I don't know if it's going to break out of there, though. I don't think, I mean, it looks like it wants to go there, but I think it's lost the mojo. I think Bitcoin has kind of lost the mojo. The mojo is really gone. But yeah, you could see 48,000 maybe till here, this range. But the mojo there is gone. The mojo is in ESE. That's where the mojo is. I don't know why people are even bothering with these stupid cryptos when you could make so much more money with, you know, penny stocks. Okay, you bought some on Monday. All right. Okay. Delic. Shit, they did this. They did this financing, which is derailing this thing now. So it's hey, just when they think gets some momentum, it gets derailed by private placement. So it's going to be kind of in the doghouse for a little while. I mean, you saw what happened with ESE. ESE was in the doghouse for months. Now it's getting out of the doghouse. The dogs are being let out. Release the hounds is what's happening with ESE. It is running out of the doghouse. So they're cashed up. They got revenues that are up 5x. They're delivering on fundamentals. So this is not a hype story. This is not one of these hype stocks. I don't want to mention any names of hype companies, but there are plenty of hype companies right now floating around that people are talking up, that are up massive. They've had massive parabolic runs. And you know what? There's nothing there to sustain them. I mean, do they have any revenues? No. I mean, listen, there's no excuse for a company, for a tech company. There is no excuse for a tech company not to have decent revenues after, 2 years of launch or whatever it is. I mean, any tech company, I mean, listen, any moron can build a business that's doing at least $2 million. I mean, a 15-year-old, there's 15-year-old kids who have, Shopify websites selling, I don't know, sneakers, eBay, whatever. Idiots. You could build if they focus on it, right? There's a couple stocks floating around, some alleged tech stocks with big stories that have had parabolic pumped up charts. They got no revenues. And I remember hearing stories, oh, hey, we're gonna have, where are the revenues? Not ESE. ESE is the real deal here. Okay, this guy bought. Oh, he's on Telegram. See, look at this. He's a follower on Telegram. You guys should be subscribing to our Telegram channel. Let me run that back, and it's free. Click the link in the video description below to get access to our Telegram channel. We got a lot of data that comes out throughout the day, different trading ideas, chart stuff. I mean, I don't have time to do these live streams. This is just for entertainment purposes. Yeah, ESE. Oh, 30,000. This guy's up already. If you bought 30,000 ESE, so you are up 16 cents. Not bad for a couple of hours of work, right? So, okay, the market's closed, and where do we close at right now? Let me look. It's $1.27 near the highs. Okay, not bad at all. AIML had a nice close also. Take a look at this. And AIML, very nice setup for tomorrow. So I think this thing is AIML is going to have a very nice run tomorrow. We're going to break probably 80. We're going to close this gap tomorrow, I think, this 90-cent gap. Let's see if the stock breaks 90 cents. That's going to be a key level there. Yeah, ESE, very, very strong. Again, let me just pull up this one-day chart. What a beautiful close. I mean, what you see right here, that's a high conviction close. High conviction close on ESE. Broke above the moving average. Clear breakout. And yeah, on volume, look at this volume. Wow. You can see this volume. It covers up the stock almost. Massive volume. How much volume do we have today? Let me see this. Of 500,000 shares in Canada, right? And how about the US? 92,000 shares. Not bad, not bad. Yeah, I think we're getting started. Tomorrow, $1.50. It could. I mean, look, you remember when ESE starts running, I mean, this is a very tight stock. This is probably one of the tightest stocks that we have in terms of the structure. So, Michael, I don't know if you remember last year when we first introduced it, it went from 30 cents to, $1.32 in like a week. And then it went to, $4 in 2 months. So it doesn't take a lot to move this. $1.50 is going to be that next level of resistance, and it needs to break out of $1.50 to run to 250. So there you go. So $1.50. So I got a feeling that it's possible. I don't know if it's going to go to $1.50 tomorrow. I think we're probably going to be. I think tomorrow it could easily bounce around between $1.30 and $1.40. I think it can bounce around in that range, right? But you know what? This thing is not going to stick around here. I think it's just going to go straight out. There's really not a lot after that. After $1.50, it's going to be, $2.50, and that's it. It's like game over. $2.50, $4. Here, there you go. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to take a screenshot. Ryan, I'm gonna use this as a marketing. I'm gonna use this for marketing purposes. Okay, I'm gonna use this for marketing purposes. This is a testimonial. 270 TB 18 cents in a Telegram channel. Right. So now, did you sell? Did you get out? Did you make a profit? I don't. By the way, TBP is not done yet. I mean, it went to 40 cents plus, but that is not done yet. I think we're getting started. Raya, 20 cents Canadian next week. It needs to break out of 15 cents. It's a very interesting. You got Ryan brought up TBP, and some of these stocks, they kind of have like some overhang or somebody hanging at a certain level, and once it breaks out of that level, these things just run. So with TBP, I remember once it broke out of that like 18 cents, that's when it ran. Let me pull up TBP because this has been like kind of just hanging out here, waiting for data. So we had to break out of, what was the number? It was, I think it was 20 cents was the number. So once it broke 20 cents, it just went crazy. So it went to, what did we go to? 50 cents and change, right? So it was a triple, basically. Ryan is up a triple. I think TBP is waiting for a catalyst. So this is kind of the boring phase that every stock goes through, whether it was PKK, a couple months ago, or I don't know, anybody. They kind of go through this phase where they're waiting for, a catalyst. They're waiting. It's like a ship, it's sailing. The ship is sailing, and then the wind kind of dies down. It's a sailboat. We're talking about sailboat. You're sailing, right? The wind dies down, and now you're kind of stuck for a little while. You're not going anywhere for a little while. And then boom, a gust of wind comes in and off to the races. Okay, so I'm assuming you took a profit, right? Penny stock cautious, taper. It's interesting. I kind of talked about this in the last live stream. I think the markets overall, they looked kind of shaky. All right. I said, hey, but things really, really kind of turned around big time, bigly. Let me look at the Dow. Yeah. But the penny stocks we're doing, they're not, it's kind of almost a negative correlation. Whatever the Dow is, look, you saw what happened Monday, Tuesday. Whatever the markets were crashing, these stocks were going up. So, and we had the opposite thing happening back in March, right? The markets were going up, these stocks were crashing. Let me look at the Dow real quick. So, you know, on Sunday, was it last week or Sunday this week? I said, hey, this thing is looking very, very shaky. I think I was saying that even the week before. And it broke below this line. This is a very important trend line. But today, the Dow closed above it. It's still below the moving average. It's still below 35,000 roughly. As long as it's below 35,000, still, I have my doubts about it. I have my doubts, but on paper, this is a very bullish key reversal. So, you know, I'm not a perma bear. I'm a doubter, but I'm not a perma bear. So I doubt the market, but I believe, in other words, the fundamentals, there's a lot of deteriorating fundamentals between the China situation, other things. But this chart right now, just like it was saying a couple of weeks ago, hey, market's looking bad, change its mind. You know, you got to go with the flow. You got to be flexible. So right now, the market's looking good. I mean, yeah, it's closed above the line. You know, it's looking good. But again, as long as it's below 35,000, I'm not convinced. I'm not 100% convinced. It could be a fake out. I don't know. But the penny stocks, the ones we're talking about, those charts, very bullish. So with that said, I'm going to close out on the ESE chart. I'm going to leave that up on the screen just for everybody to look at. Beautiful chart, big, beautiful base, breakout above the moving average and breakout above the base. $1.50, next level of resistance, a little bit of resistance, not a lot. I don't think it's going to hang out there too much, maybe a week. And after that, it's going to be 250 plus. After that, maybe $455. So thank you for joining, and I will see you tomorrow, 12:30, for AIML and ESE Entertainment. Please ask your questions. Bring good questions for AIML and ESE. See you then.